welcome back to Zagami Beauty. I'm Krysia. Today's video is super fun because it's a blind buy fragrance video. And fragrances hold a really special place in my heart, just as much as makeup. My collection has grown quite a bit in the last few years because I've been purchasing online from sort of these like bigger pseudo discount retailers. The one I tend to veer towards is fragrancebuy.ca. My latest haul is mainly from Perfumeonline.ca, and they're just another Canadian retailer for discounted fragrances. Not old fragrances, but just at a discount. And sometimes I get myself in trouble because I do a lot of these blind buys based on fragrance notes that I like. We'll see how today goes. I'm going to be opening up these boxes for you, testing these fragrances that I've never tried before. Hopefully they work out, most of them anyways. I'm expecting at least one or two to be duds. That usually happens with blind buy purchases. Before we get started, of course, I invite you to subscribe today. Like this video if you like fragrance videos. Let me know down below. I absolutely adore fragrances, talking about fragrances, so if you want to see more videos regarding that topic, let me know down below, give it a like, and let's get straight into this fragrance blind buy. All right, let's get started. I'm so excited. So first fragrance is actually from the ARMANI Beauty website. This is a pseudo blind buy. I say that because I did test this fragrance out years ago. We're talking over 5 years ago. I got in one of my ARMANI Beauty orders, probably when I was buying, you know, my backup of Luminous Silk, which I used to use all the time. And it did come with a little vial of the ARMANI PRIVE Rose ALEXANDRIE. I just fell in love with it and I never purchased it because of course it's sort of like $1 million for a bottle of ARMANI PRIVE fragrances. But I got it on sale. So sign up to ARMANI Beauty. Sometimes they have up to 25% off, including the PRIVE fragrances. Sometimes it doesn't include the PRIVE. This time it did. I bought a bottle. Oh, fingers crossed, it's just as beautiful as I thought it was like over 5 years ago. Now this is a rose-based fragrance, which I think at the end of the day, rose-based fragrances are going to be my favorite floral. Let's go ahead and open this baby up. Tons of ARMANI packaging, and then we have the beautiful Rose ALEXANDRIE. 100 ml size. I believe this one comes in just that one size. Let's go over the notes really quick. So this one is composed of bergamot, tangerine, neroli, rose, yellow mimosa, which I love mimosa in fragrances, but I feel like it's just always such a fleeting, you know, floral note usually. Middle is going to be more rose. That's all I can get from Fragrantica. That makes no sense to me, but it looks like it's not even a typical top, middle, bottom. It's just kind of like all top notes. I do remember it being quite fresh in a floral way. I don't know why I'm always so careful opening these. It should be Christmas, right? It's like, go nuts. So outer sleeve, then just opens up like that. And then we have the beautiful fragrance there. The label there is quite sparkly gold. And the ARMANI PRIVE bottles are just so heavy, and they always have this quite heavy gemstone type top on there. It's just so luxe. Absolutely love this. All right, let's go ahead and spray some on tissue. I would normally spray it on my skin, but we're testing so many out that would just be too much. So let's go ahead. This is what I remember it being. It is such a beautiful green yet slightly fruity rose. It's not like the Chloe green bottle. I think it's the low or the fresh. Not that green, but just smells very real. And of course, I mean, ARMANI PRIVE, you are paying, of course, for ingredients. I can see this being fleeting, not lasting super long on the skin. And again, the sample I got, I used up very quickly, and it was kind of like a blotter sample. I wasn't able to kind of like spray it all around, and I think if I can just spray it all around and let the warmth of my skin really work its way through, it'll last a little bit longer. So beautiful. So again, sort of like young rose, almost like a beautiful pink rose. And then you get some freshness from the bergamot, you get some fruitiness as well, and a little bit of green kind of notes in there too, but not overly green. This is not like a straight cut, you know, rose where you can smell the stem or anything like that. No, you're still smelling the petals, but it's such a fresh, youthful rose. If I was gonna say what season this would be perfect for, definitely spring, definitely early summer. I think you can wear it all year round, but I just think in the winter, because it doesn't have anything too substantial in the base, there's like really no amber or musk or anything like that in the base, I just think it would be too fleeting and too thin for winter air. It's a beautiful floral, but it's not too heavy, so you can just really, really enjoy it on those kind of like warm, hotter days. All right, now comes the box from Perfume Online. So just kind of a cardboard box. Fragrance By really packs their fragrances so beautifully and so sturdy. We'll see about Perfume Online. I feel like they're sister companies, but they still are slightly different. So lots of bubble wrap. They're protecting the fragrances. So let's start off with this one here, Stella McCartney Pop in the Bluebell. This one here, the notes looked really, really pretty and fresh and not overly sweet. I'm super curious to see how this smells. And I love Stella McCartney, just the original Stella Eau de Parfum. It is probably my holy grail, like signature fragrance of all time. The notes according to Fragrantica, green mandarin, violet leaf, it says tomato leaf. That's interesting. Violet tuberose, bellflower, which is kind of the whole bluebell concept. Frangipani, which is a little bit more of a tropical floral. And then sandalwood, cedar, and musk at the bottom. To me, it just sounds like a very bright, fresh, springtime floral. Having serious issues here. I get too excited and my hands start to fumble. Very, very clear juice in there. I kind of like go by the juice in terms of the darker the juice, the more heavier the fragrance, I usually think most of the time. Okay, so it's kind of hard to push. You have to push it from the top there. So let's go ahead and spray this on a tissue. I can already smell it because I just sprayed a bit into the air. That's not bad. It's just not the most intuitive atomizer. So this smells a little bit more nostalgic or retro, kind of like something fresh from maybe late 90s, early 2000s. Not in that CK1 category or anything like that, but just in that very, very just fresh, sparkly, not overly sweet. So it's not like that typical fritulis that we were getting in the last like 5 or 7 years. This still smells very, very sparkly and fresh and like borderline, again, green. Like you have morning dew on all of the flowers, and so it's not overly hot and musky. It's just kind of more fresh. I feel like this is the most perfect springtime fragrance and something you can almost wear just anytime, to work, just at home. It just seems like very, very wearable, very easy to like. You do get some decent notes on the bottom, so I think once it warms up, it does have more of a base there to last a little bit longer than, for example, the Rose Alexandrie. I love this. I think this is just so likable and slightly youthful, but again, not in that like frituly, cloying, too sweet kind of way. The sweetness is very, very light and very, very fresh. It's just sort of like the perfect level of sweetness for me anyways. Next one is going to be Miu Miu, and this was a tester, so I was able to get this at a really good discounted price. I have the Miu Miu L'Argent and the Miu Miu the original fragrance. They're very, very fresh fragrances. The L'Argent goes quite sharp, almost metallic, in a still very fresh way. And that just evokes memories of a trip that my husband and I took to Kelowna, BC 2 years ago, which was really, really nice. Ooh, it comes with the cap. Sometimes testers don't come with the cap, but in this case it does. And the bottle is so beautiful. It has like that dark navy blue, kind of like Miu Miu going around. Juice is very, very light pink. So again, I'm expecting a ton of rose in there as well. Bergamot, lemon, lime, lily of the valley, peony, rose, peach, and pear in the middle, so quite fruity. White musk, sandalwood, and vanilla at the bottom. Nothing too heavy at the bottom, but still a little bit of something, something to keep the fragrance going, I think. I love the sprayer on Miu Miu fragrances. It's such a fine, beautiful mist. This is so good, you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm definitely smelling freshness at the top, but not at all overly citrusy. And considering those notes at the top, it's pretty much all citrus, but I smell something like slightly soury, fruity, almost like the Body Shop Dewberry, if you guys ever remember Dewberry, where it has like that slight bitteriness vibe, but still fruity. Am I missing something? Because it really isn't just all citrus. What did I miss? Cassis. Yeah, makes sense. So cassis is going to be that slightly, like I said, bittery berry vibe. where it's just straight up like slightly sour but green. So beautiful. I'm not getting a ton of rose or peony yet. I'm guessing that's going to kind of come later on, but I just can't believe how delicious this is. And again, very fresh, very spring-like, summer for sure, because this would just be quite a fresh, straight up, juicy fragrance on the skin. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to wear this. This is so beautiful. So far, so good. I'm so impressed with all of these so far. Let's move on. This one is nothing crazy. This is just my repurchase of Stella, the original Eau de Parfum, because I just used up my latest bottle, and I've probably gone through at least 10 bottles in my lifetime already, because this is always in my collection. It is my signature scent. And I got it in the tester as well, which is what makes the price really, really good, but came with the cap too, which is awesome. And I'm just going to go ahead and spray this on my skin because I haven't had this for a couple months and I missed it so much. This is going to be straight up rose, a little bit of mandarin at the top, a little bit of peony, and then you're going to go into something very, very ambery, slightly woodsy because of that mandarin, and it's not overly fruity, but it's not overly floral because you're only dealing with rose technically and peony. And then the amber at the bottom is what's giving it that roundness and warmth. And I feel like all of these notes almost hit you at once. That Miu Miu Low Rosé so far was smelling kind of just more citrusy and like sharp bitteriness, right? From the cassis. And I wasn't getting a ton of floral notes. And I bet you, now I'm getting more rose, right? Definitely more rose. I'm kind of actually smelling the Lily of the Valley as well, that delicate floral scent. Whereas this one, the Stella, just kind of gives you all the notes at once, and it's very rounded, and what you see is what you get almost instantly. Depending on your, body chemistry, you're gonna pick up maybe on certain notes more than others. For me, it does go quite warm. I have sort of a stronger body chemistry when it comes to fragrances. And so it goes quite warm and ambery very, very quickly. And the rose is sort of at its peak of summertime bloom, and it's like right there, you're caught in that peak of bloom where it's just about to start turning and losing its leaves and going a little bit more pungent, a little bit more expired rose, but a little bit more of a pungent rose, stale rose. It's caught like exactly where it's at its best, I feel, at its juiciest, sweetest. If you love roses, I think you can't help but love this one. And if you don't like roses, I think there's enough of the slight juicy sweetness from the mandarin and then the warmth of the amber that it just kind of keeps it super simple and super likable. I'm so excited to have it back in my life. But next one is Chloe Nomade, and this is the Eau de Parfum. Came out, I believe, a couple years ago. I don't remember testing this just because, I don't know, I find like that Chloe fragrances are very hit and miss. I like how they smell, but I don't like how they smell on me, which is weird. I don't know. I just feel like all of them are pretty and feminine and slightly retro in their own way, and yet on my skin they always just kind of turn. So I don't know why I went for this one. Probably because, you guys, look at this bottle. It is so beautiful. It kind of looks like one of their saddlebags. So pretty. It has the suede around there, Chloe, engraved on there. Chloe engraved on the front part there, Nomad on the back, a little tassel here. It's an exquisite bottle. It's heavy because you can see at the bottom it's a very, very thick amount of glass that's there. Stunning, stunning bottle. Let's look at the notes because this is the interesting thing. It's a very unique fragrance. It is classified as a Kuiper, which is sort of kind of like a little bit more of a potent patchouli type based fragrance where it has fruitiness, but it's kind of almost like pow in your face. Not synthetic necessarily, but it definitely has a presence, a slight sharpness or intensity to it. At the top, we get bergamot, lemon, orange, freesia, peach, rose, and jasmine in the middle. So again, still very juicy, but you do get jasmine, and jasmine is an intense floral in my opinion. But the bottom is what's interesting. So yes, you get amberwood, patchouli, white musk, and sandalwood. So warmth for sure, slight powderiness from the musk, but the oak moss is what's interesting. And I think the oak moss is what's going to make this fragrance slightly more earthy, if that even makes sense. Let's go ahead and spray this. Kind of nervous about this one. This is the only one where I think I'm a little bit like, oh, it could go really, really good and interesting and unique, or too intense for me. I don't know, we'll see. So unique. You literally get, I feel like, that oak moss right away. It's like you're in a forest with just this damp greenness to it, which is earthy. Almost borderline like a fresh pine or cedar smell, like a fresh cedar smell. Wow, that's so forest-like. Like it literally, nomad is probably the right word. I was gonna say almost even like a fairy in an enchanted forest that's slightly sparkly and floral, but yet very, very like surrounded by just these beautiful green trees, and there's moss everywhere. It is so unique, and I'm really happy I have this in my collection. It's not something I feel like I'm going to wear all the time, although it might grow on me to be something a little bit more daily. It is definitely a statement making fragrance in my opinion. I feel like it's perfect for more going into fall and then winter because it has that warmth, it has that earthiness to it. That smells still very, very green. Like I said, slightly like that fresh cedary pine smell. It is like just the most perfect, slightly masculine, but still very feminine fragrance. I don't know, does that even make sense? Kind of doesn't. But this is probably one of the most unique fragrances thus far in my collection. Okay guys, last but not least, the one that I've been just the most excited for. It's been discontinued, so I was really happy to see that they stocked up on this on the website. This is the Givenchy Dahlia Noir. And I don't know. Do you guys agree with me that Givenchy is constantly discontinuing or reformulating stuff? Like, is it just me? This one here I have tried, but like we're talking way back in the day. It came out in 2011 and I probably tried it just in the first couple years that it was out. Probably around that 2012-13 mark. I never purchased it, maybe tested it in store, but it just had an impression on me. And so when I saw this online, I was just like, no, I want to get it. I want to try it. And the notes seemed really interesting to me, so let's go over that first. Okay, so at the top we have pink pepper, mimosa, mandarin, bergamot. So again, I veer towards kind of those like mimosa, juicy fragrance notes. And in the middle we have iris, rose, and patchouli. So the patchouli is in the middle, which makes me feel like it's not going to be an overly heavy or pungent patchouli, but a little more of a fresher patchouli. Then on the bottom we have sandalwood, tonka, vanilla, and oak moss. I love tonka in fragrances. Tonka and myrrh and amber are probably my top kind of like base notes. Very, very chic. Again, very masculine, and I love that. So it kind of has like that beautiful black top, Givenchy on the bottom there. And then we have Dahlia Noir written sort of next to the atomizer. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm expecting something powdery, obviously, because of the iris. So powdery, borderline like that lipstick, cosmetic powder, creamy smell. Definitely just comforting, powdery smell, which would be perfect for fall, winter, cozy cashmere sweater kind of smell. It's absolutely stunning. I'm going to spray this one on my other side because it is so beautiful. And you can tell on the skin already, it has that even almost like slight leather smell, but there is no leather notes in there, but it does have that slight leather smell as well. So I think it's just the iris combining maybe with that pepper. Oh, so, so good. I am so excited with all of these fragrances. Guys, well, that was a success. I have no duds in this. Like the Nomad is the only one that's like really quirky. It's really different, but it's beautiful. No duds in this haul. Let me know down below if you guys own any of these fragrances and what are your thoughts about it. Give it a like or a comment if you want me to do and film more fragrance-based videos. I would love to sort of organize kind of like top fragrances or seasonal or categories. If you like how I describe fragrances, again, today is definitely more of a first impression type video, but if you're enjoying how I verbalize how something smells, let me know down below, and I would love, love, love to film more fragrance videos for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys go today. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.